Blessings.
Yeah. One body, one mind. One mind, one spirit. One spirit, one mind. Gotta make the world feel it. One body, one mind. One mind, one spirit. One spirit, one mind. Gotta make the world feel it.
Now, bro, we're teaching our people. What's going on, man? What's your name? Xavier? I'm Uriel, Xavier. Good to meet you, bro. Real quick, what's your nationality?
I am Hispanic
Hispanic, black. What's your father? He's black. So when it comes down to it, you are what your father is, right? So when you see on the top of the list, on the first one, it says American blacks, right? What name does it say next to that? Judah. Right? So the so-called American blacks come from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
So you are what your father is, so that's where you're from. You're from the tribe of Judah. Right, Xavier? So we're going over right now the keeping of God's laws, the keeping of God's commandments. Do you believe in God? Okay, so my next question to you is, do you smoke? Okay, so now, Xavier, go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Watch this. Let me ask you a question, because this happened to the so-called black people right here. And Hispanics, you're absolutely right.
They call us like sectors, but we're not a sector. We are.
Hold on, Maricel. Let me ask you a question, Xavier. What's going on right here? I want you to look at this small picture right here. What's going on right here? You see that? Yeah. What is that?
Like a crocodile.
It's a crocodile, right? Trying to eat a baby, right? Do you know the history behind that? That's called gator bait. They used to use the so-called blacks and Hispanics babies as gator bait to catch the alligators. That's how they used to get the gator skins and things like that, right? Now watch this. When you look over here, what's going on right here? You see the right? That's a slave trade. This is an auctioneer, and he's selling the young girl right here. You understand what I'm saying? This is a curse that happened to our people, right? The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Watch this. Why did that happen, though?
Multi-billion business.
That's true, but why? Let's find out. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and give me verse 15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So Xavier, is this a blessing? Is that what we're seeing on this picture? Are these blessings? So then what would you call this? If what's an opposite of a blessing? It's a curse, right? So God said, read that one more time.
But it shall come to pass.
That means future tense. It will happen. This is Moses speaking to the 12 tribes of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in the wilderness, right? In the desert, for so to speak. Read on.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So if we won't listen to God, today this is how we hearken to the voice of the Lord our God. So if we won't listen to God, watch this, read on.
To observe to do all his commandments.
So watch and to keep his commandments, read on.
And his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So all these curses shall overcome us and basically take over us, right? The curses, the bad things would happen to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Because if you look at this right here, in 1492, Christopher Columbus, Ponce de Leon, you know what I'm saying, Hernan Cortez came over here and put the so-called Native Americans in the slavery. You understand what I'm saying? So when it comes down to it, these bad things happen to our people, right? And it happened, why do you think? We literally just read it, Xavier.
Because we didn't listen to God's commandments.
There you go. We didn't listen to God's commandments and follow them. Jump to verse 46.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
So these bad things, these curses that happen to our people, the reason why you call yourself, what do you consider yourself right now? You consider yourself Hispanic, or do you consider yourself black? On an application, where you have to fill out an application and ask you for your nationality, what do you put?
That's prejudice.
What do you put? You put African American? Okay, so now that's when it comes down to it, that's also a curse. Sometimes you put mixed, that's a curse, because there's no such thing as being mixed. You understand what I'm saying? You are what your father is. And if you're considering yourself African American, that's a curse. Read verse 46 again.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
So these curses will be upon our people for a sign, you know?
And for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So what is this place right here, Xavier? This place right across the street right here.
It's a dispensary.
How do you know?
Well, because they're everywhere. Everybody smokes weed.
Okay, but how do you know that specific place is a dispensary?
Because I used to go there.
Well, if nobody told you that this was a dispensary and you just came out of town, how would you know that that's a dispensary?
I don't know. Well, it says cannabis.
There you go. There you go. It says cannabis. Altitude cannabis. Altitude is the name, and cannabis is letting you know what they sell, letting you know what their business is, right? So that's a what? That's a sign to know that, hey, we sell weed here, right? So when it comes down to it, God is telling you, read it again.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
So God is saying these curses will be on the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans for a sign to let you know that, hey, I'm the real Jew. Just like when you see this, it says altitude cannabis. It's telling you right here that God is telling us, showing us that the curses is a sign to show you, Xavier, who you are. Is to show you, myself, who you are. Because when it comes down to it, no, this is not a conspiracy. This happened for real. So when no, it happened for real. So when it comes down to it, Xavier, we as a people have to learn our nationality. Why? Because we broke God's commandments, and now the curses was put upon us, on our people. Now we're calling ourselves African American. Now we're calling ourselves mixed. Now we're calling ourselves Hispanic, property of Spain. You understand what I'm saying? These are curses when it comes down to our people, right? And when it comes down to it, no, we are not all equal. So when it comes down to it, Xavier, you right here have to learn this. Give me Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. This happened for a reason.
Did you have a
right?
chapter for revival people?
Hold on, Maricel. Hold your peace, Maricel. Hold on.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself.
So, and you, even yourself, Xavier, and your race of people, read on,
shalt discontinue from thine heritage.
So we was going to discontinue from our heritage. What consists of a heritage? When you think of a heritage, what consists of a heritage? Culture, tradition. So what consists of, because that's right. When you think of heritage, it comes with culture and tradition. But what falls into that? It umbrellas out into other things, right? Like, what do you eat? The clothes you wear, how you're supposed to dress, the God you serve. You understand what I'm saying? How you're supposed to keep yourself as a person. That all comes into heritage, which falls under culture, tradition, and things like that. Right? Read that again.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
See, God said we would discontinue, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans would discontinue from our heritage that God gave us. We would discontinue from it. Why? Because we broke God's commandments. So now we wouldn't know that we're the real Jews. Now we wouldn't know who we are according to God in the Bible. We would call ourselves Puerto Rican, Mexicans, Cubans, mixed, African American, Haitians. But you would never find those names in the Bible. Nowhere. Finish that off.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
So who's our enemy, Xavier? God is letting you know something. He said, I'm going to cause you to serve your enemies in a land that you don't know. Who's our enemies?
The needy people.
Go back to Deuteronomy 28, and we're going to jump to 48. Who's our enemies? I'm going to help you out. Watch this. Read this.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst.
Jump to verse 68 real quick.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So God said he was going to bring us into slavery again with ships. Who brought our people into slavery with ships? Take a look at this. Because this happened to our people. Who did this to our people? There you go. There you go. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Because now we're going to read it. Now we're going to read it. Because when the Bible tells us, we don't believe the Bible. The Bible is actually a real book. It's a real history book written by our ancestors. Is that good? Watch this. Read it.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
We will never see our homeland no more again. Read on.
And there,
when we get to America, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, when we get to these places, read on.
Ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
We're going to be sold unto our enemies, which is the white man, the so-called white man. We're going to be sold to our enemies. What do you think is happening here? We're being sold to our enemies. You understand what I'm saying? Read on.
For bondmen.
For slave men.
And bondwomen.
And slave women. Read on.
And no man shall buy you.
No man shall redeem you. The word buy you is an old Quaker word for redeem. No man will redeem us. Because we know that we were bought. We were bought by the white man. Bought and sold by the white man. You understand what I'm saying? So God is showing you who your enemy is in the Bible. Go back to verse 48. Just to put a nail in the coffin on that. We will serve our enemies. Read it.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
So who do we serve today? We literally just said it. There you go. There you go. Who owns these businesses out here? Who owns the government? We serving our enemies. Go back to Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. We're serving our enemies, Xavier. And it's high time that you wake up and understand that, because right now when it comes down to it, our people needs to learn this information. Read that one more time.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
You hear that? We've kindled a fire in God that we pissed them off. And he allowed our enemies to come and allow this to happen to our people. This happened to us because we turned our backs on God first. We did not keep his commandments. So with that being said, when it comes down to it, Xavier, you got to learn how to keep God's commandments. You got to be on this side teaching your people how to change, how to keep God's commandments, how to become a better people back to the nationality that we were given from God, not our slave masters. You understand what I'm saying? Because when it comes down to it, African American was given to us by a slave master. Puerto Ricans was given to us by slave masters. Native Americans was given to us by our slave masters. You understand what I'm saying? So now we have to learn. We got to change our mentality. So I'm going to ask you a question, Xavier. Who is this right here? Who is this? Oh, who is this?
Jesus.
Why you go like that? why you do that?
That is the real description of Jesus.
This is the real description of Jesus? And so who is this then? You're right. No, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
It's a false image that people worship.
There you go. It's a false image that people worship. This is Caesar Borgia, Pope Alexander VI's son. That his image was drawn by Leonardo da Vinci as the image of Christ given to the world. So when it comes down to it, this is a false image given to our people, and our people worship that thing. You understand? Let's get that. Let's get that in Revelations chapter 2 and start off at verse 1.
The book of Revelations chapter 1 and verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
The revealing of Jesus Christ. And you even knew this. You had some type of knowledge of this, right? So let me ask you, where did you get this knowledge from? Where did you find out that this was the depiction of Christ opposed to this?
No, the Bible.
I read my Bible.
Okay.
I do look into some of the things, and it describes Jesus as having the skin is brown,
Right.
wool hair.
There you go.
You know,
And you was able to put the pieces together to say that this is not it.
and where he comes from, where he
Right.
originated from, it's not, you know, it's just.
You're absolutely right. And let's jump to the point, and then we're going to get Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 14.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
Just like you said, his head and his hairs are white like wool. That image don't have woolly textured hair, but that one does. Read on.
As white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
So this image has blue eyes or green eyes. That image has the retina is showing that is white. I mean, the white of his eyes is showing that it's red. Right? Read on.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
His feet like unto fine brass. So in other words, when I see your feet, I can tell that your feet is the same color as your body. You don't have brown feet. You understand what I'm saying? Hold on, Maricel. So keep it peace. Keep your peace. Hold on, Maricel. Hold on. So when it comes down to it, I can tell by the looking at your feet. I can tell your whole body, the color of your whole body. And the scripture says what? It's the color of what?
And his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
Just like they burned in the furnace. So if you look at the color of brass, it's brown. It's just like it burned in the furnace. Anything that you put in the furnace is going to be turned into black. You understand what I'm saying? So the Bible is as plain as day. Our people a lot of our people need to get this information because they don't know it. And a lot of our people refuse this information. You understand what I'm saying? Give me Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 14. Because it's a point that I want to bring home, because when it comes down to it, our people are written in this book. This book was written by our ancestors. Nobody else. It wasn't written by the white man, the Chinese. It was written by our ancestors. Read that.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 2 and verse 14.
Read, I'm sorry, 14 and 2. I'm a little dyslexic on that one. 14 and 2.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish.
So the tribe of Judah is in mourning. The gates thereof, the gates is just talking about the leadership. The leaders of the people, right? Read on.
They are black.
What color is the so-called African Americans or Judah?
They are black.
You hear that? The Bible is telling you that those that come from the tribe of Judah are black. Well, not just the tribe, but when you look at this, right? This is called the tents of Judah. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi comes from the tents of Judah. God is saying that they are black.
That's right.
They are black. Read on.
They are black unto the ground.
They are black unto the ground. If you was to dig up this dirt right here, the farther down you go, the darker the dirt is, right? That's why God is saying they are black unto the ground, right? You done with that?
And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up.
And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up, meaning that we as a people are in mourning. We in the ghettos, in the hoods, we are in trials and tribulations. What is the word that it says right here? The beginning. Read it over. 14.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourneth.
We are in mourning. We are the people that needs help. We are the people that always need assistance, government assistance. We are the people that always need somebody to step in to help out. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to it, we are the real Jews. Well, we just read that was the sign. The curses would be a sign, right? That's a curse. We're cursed in the cities. We're cursed in the fields. We're cursed as a people in the ghettos, the communities, the hoods. We as a people are cursed. You understand that? So now, when it comes down to it, give me Hebrews chapter 7 and verse 14.
Brother Charles.
What's going on, Brother Charles? How you doing, man? So now when it comes down to it, Xavier, right? What's going on, Brother Charles? I see you pointing and stuff.
Oh, no, bro.
Okay, go ahead. Do your thing. Matter of fact, drop that. Give me Psalms 82 and verse 5. Because Xavier, when it comes down to it, and Charles, as a people, you see the conditions that we in, right? You see the ghettos and the communities and the projects. We as a people, we on the bottom. We on the bottom. And let's find out why. Read that.
The book of Psalms, chapter 82 and verse 5. They know not, neither will they understand.
So the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we don't know, nor do we understand. That's why it's important for y'all to get right. Because the world is waiting on y'all. The world of Israel is waiting on y'all to repent. We need y'all. We can't do this without y'all, right? Read on.
They walk on in darkness.
Our people walk on in darkness. That's why we that know the commandments, we that know the laws, y'all have to come on this side. Join us to become that light. Because our people walk on in darkness. They have to be able to see you. They have to be able to see the example. They have to be able to be taught that example that is needed for them to change. Read on.
All the foundations of the earth are out of course.
The whole world is out of order. The whole world is out of order. The foundations of the earth is waiting on you, Xavier. The foundations of the earth is waiting on you, Charles. The world is out of order. Read on.
I have said, ye are gods.
We're gods. Yeah. We are gods. We come from God. Right? Read on.
And all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men.
We're going to die like men, Xavier. Why do you think that? Because right now you're supposed to learn this information, right? Come on this side, learn this information so you can teach your people. But we die like men. Why is that?
We don't know our full potential.
Okay, you're absolutely right.
We don't know who we are.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So I'm gonna ask you. Let me read this first, and then I'm gonna ask you a question. Read.
The book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse 23. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord.
You hear that? The wages of sin is death. Yeah, we're gods, but we're gonna die like men. The wages of sin. Hey, what's going on, sis? How you doing, sis? Come a little closer. Sis, you just coming off work?
No, actually, I'm on break.
Okay, so you on break now. You get a paycheck, right, sis? Read this again. What is your paycheck called? When you look at your paycheck and it gives you the amount that you take home, what is that called? When you open up your pay, or when you look at your pay stub online, what is that called, Xavier? Your gross pay, right? But it's called something else. Your wages. Your wages, right? You work for wages, right? Read that again.
The book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse 23. For the wages of sin is death.
So the payment of sin is death.
Like it plays.
That's why when it comes down to it, yeah, we're gods, but we're going to die like men. Because why? We are in what? In sin. There you go. When it comes down to it, our people are in sin. So you got to learn God's commandments to teach our people. You love your people, Xavier? Sis, what was your name? Shanice. Do you love your people? Who are your people, Shanice? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. So you say you love every person on the earth. And so every person is your people. Do you agree with that, Xavier?
I mean,
be real. Tell me what your thoughts is, because when it comes down to it,
like,
we're here to learn.
See, like, we are all here. We are all created by God, right?
Right.
Even white people, like, how they get here?
Okay, even white people, okay.
But, and there's some white people that are saved, but they're not. You know what I mean? I don't.
We teaching that our people are the Israelites.
So in other words, you're saying that, right? Appreciate you, Cal. And everything, our people are created, right? All people are created, right? Y'all both feel the same, right? So when it comes down to it, everybody, like you said, is your people. Everybody, right? All right, let's see what God said.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6 and verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures. Of him come we all.
So Xavier, you right? You said, hey, everybody come from Adam, man. God created everybody, right? Okay, read on.
And the people also whom thou hast chosen.
So it says, and. You see that distinction? And you see the separation? It says, and the people who thou hast chosen. The 12 tribes of Israel, right? Watch this, read on.
All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
God said he made the world for the 12 tribes of Israel's sake, right? Watch this. What's going on, brother? Hold on. Watch this. Read on.
As for the other people.
Hold on. As for the other people, because remember there was a distinction. The other people is who? The other nations. The so-called white man, the Arab, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Russians, whatever. The Africans. Read on.
Which also come of Adam.
So they do come from Adam. You're right, Xavier. Let's see what's going on. Read on.
Thou hast said that they are nothing.
God said they are nothing. They ain't SH. You hear that? They ain't nothing. God said them other people ain't nothing when it comes down to who we are as a people and what our position is in this world. Right? You finished with that? Read on.
But be like unto spittle.
Oh, my goodness. Be like unto spittle. Read on.
And hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
God said he has compared them to a drop that fell out of a cup. Let me ask you, if you filled your cup with water, right? You was thirsty, you filled your cup with water, and you turned around and bumped whatever and a drop fell out. Would you turn around and refill your cup? Nah, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't care about that drop that fell out your cup. That's what God is saying. Every other nation on the face of the earth is like the drop that fell out that cup. But you, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans of the 12 tribes of Israel, is that cup. God care about you. You are the center of the universe.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.